The other day, September 29th, a former industry investor turned business influencer took a shit on the entire industry and plant that made her career. That's right. Cody Sanchez, former managing partner at Entourage Capital, initially Cresco Capital Partners, and cannabis industry investor, quickly became a public personality in the cannabis industry, you guys. She was featured in Medium.com as well as MJ Biz Daily and a few others. And a few years ago, she stepped away from the cannabis industry to run her own investment fund firm. Before dipping out, she began posting business tip videos on YouTube, which began to gain traction, largely due to her cannabis investor brand, and have since gained her over 1 million YouTube subscribers and over 500,000 followers on X. That's right. And then on a peaceful, stony Sunday, she drops this hot take, this tweet, you guys. She says, "I used to use weed. I used to invest in it. Biggest mistake of my career. It makes you dumber, more depressed, less healthy, and lazier." And suffice, can you rewind that a little bit? There we go. And suffice it to say, the comments were fantastic. Lots of cannabis defenders making the solid and logical arguments that we all know. A random dude from Texas named Chris called out the hypocrisy on his post and says, experiences with weed are not universal and people should stop posturing as if it is. Some of the most elite athletes in the world partake. To suggest these people are lazy in any way, shape, or form is objectively delusional. And D at FCB Duran says, these people are stupid, bro. They don't get it at all. Effing quitters. To which he also responded and says, to which Chris also responds to Cody and says, Cody Sanchez is awesome, but this is a bad take. 90% of people that hold this opinion are hypocrites without even realizing it and just victims of the culture. Netted out alcohol is much more damaging to alcohol, but the current culture not only accepts alcohol, but promotes it. And in an additional tweet, she also says, it's my birthday. I've decided this year I'm going to drink more whiskey. Be so patriotic, it makes commies uncomfortable and stress about the state of humanity. Now, that's actually a good tweet there, Cody Sanchez. But funnily enough, checking out this dude's profile, he's not only pro-weed, he's also pro-Trump, you guys. He put out a post looking through other comments. I saw our very own industry lawyer, Jeff Schultz, who happens to be a friend of mine. He came in with a Sullard slam calling out the hypocrisy on Cody. In a tweet where Cody says, I used to use weed, I used to invest in it, biggest mistake of my career, Jeff Schultz says, this you with eyeballs? I knew you were always a temporary passerby in the industry and not shocked that you shit posted this for engagement. Not bad, Jeff, not bad. And for those who don't know Jeff, Jeff is a respected New York-based industry lawyer and consultant who has done numerous things throughout the cannabis industry, and good for him for calling out her bullshit. But his bravery doesn't end there. On September 24th, Jeff tweeted at Willie Nelson, who had just had breakfast that morning with Doug Emhoff and Beto O'Rourke the following day. Jeff says, did you ask him to articulate Kamala Harris's campaign position on federal cannabis legalization and decriminalization, aside from canned talking points on the unfinished job of rescheduling? She has been radio silent, with her opponent is offering his full-throttled support. And, of course, there was no response at all whatsoever. And on September 9th, Jeff tweeted the following. Hashtag make cannabis legal again. Thank you at Real Donald Trump. This is the right side of history. At Senate Dems failed to move safe banking forward, and the Bidens did not finish the job on rescheduling. It's encouraging to know it would get done under your administration, including the States Reform Act. CC Nancy Mace. Yes, because the States Reform Act is the only sensible piece of legislation that's really out there that would make sense. And also references the truth by Donald Trump. It says, as I have previously stated, stated, I believe it is time to end the needless arrests and incarcerations of adults for small amounts of marijuana for personal use. We must also implement smart regulations while providing access for adults to safe tested products. And as a Floridian, I will be voting yes on Amendment 3 this November. As president, we will continue to focus on research to unlock the medical uses of marijuana to a Schedule III drug and work with Congress to pass common sense laws, including safe banking for state-authorized companies. Take that, Rico. And supporting states' rights to pass marijuana laws like in Florida that work so well for their citizens, you guys. Now, Jeff also did one other tweet that says, make cannabis legal again, hashtag Trump for cannabis. And now, Jeff, just so you guys know, is not some MAGA right-wing Republican. In fact, he's an absolute former Democrat and Trump hater. And when I spoke to him on the phone, he chose to identify as an independent now at this point. But people, regardless of their former politics, are getting sick of the hypocrisy in our government, corporations, media, and ruling class. We need more common sense Americans like Chris and Jeff to speak up against the bullshit we're seeing, whether it's within our industry or politics. And as Jeff highlighted above, as far as the convergence of the two, Trump is by far the better move for the cannabis industry. Let's not forget how many black Americans Harris put in jail for minor cannabis offenses, you guys. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about all of this hypocrisy.
I love that we have a Jason Reads the Internet segment now.
You like that?
Makes me happy.
Right.
Reporting live.
Jason puts his bias spin on everything.
Right. Well, just so we know, as of yesterday, Vice President Kamala Harris says it's time to legalize marijuana.
Mm-hmm. It's my that's my story. That's my story.
Easy there, yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Well, I mean, Rico.
So Rico,
if Rico was here
why
on
don't
time,
you pontificate?
Well, let's talk about this one first before you ruin the intro for his article yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And as far as Trump being for cannabis, he's for cannabis because he thinks it'll get him votes.
Trump is
not for cannabis because he wants to legalize cannabis.
No.
Isn't that also why Kamala's for cannabis? If we're being honest with each other.
Oh, God, I hate it when Jenny's right.
Either way, but I'm not protecting Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that Trump's the same way. So if he's doing it for votes, right? So let's not get into the Donald Trump loves weed.
Right.
Donald Trump doesn't love weed.
Let's get back to Cody Sanchez for a second.
Donald Trump is Cody Sanchez, right?
That's right.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Hold on.
She is. Have you ever seen them in the same? Have you ever seen them in the same room? They talk about a bunch of shit that they never do, and they encourage people to do a bunch of shit that they've never done.
Okay, so that is true. And I want to tell you that if I had more time and I was a better man, I was going to write a rebuttal and post it to LinkedIn about one of Cody Sanchez's harebrained business ideas about buying land near the desert and Airbnb-ing it for Airstream rentals. And unfortunately, it didn't have an applied economics lens, and she was talking about like this friend who had done it. And I went back on her feed, and I see that she rehashes her shit. You know, it was like she had posted it a couple years ago. She reposted it again. Hey, fuck Todd. Real estate is hyper time sensitive, and what worked a couple years ago doesn't mean it's going to work now. But here's what you have to remember about Cody Sanchez at this point. At this point, Cody Sanchez is like a cross between Ricky Lake and Warren Buffett. Okay, she's an entertainer is what she is. And so we have to take what she says with a massive grain of salt. She may have come.
You think it's entertaining? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Right.
I think he's calling her an entertainer because she recently had that plastic surgery done.
I don't know about plastic surgery or biodegradable surgery. All I know is that she is absolutely in the limelight, and her key goal is to stay on people's lips, to be either relevant or spoken about, and to be, I mean, she wants to channel her own little Susie Ormond, and she's really this kind of amalgamation of public speaker. She wants to be slightly uplifting, financial discipline, yada, yada, yada. So I think we just need to remember, like, you don't go to Cody Sanchez for investment advice. You go to her for, like, positive financial affirmations while you're sucking down your second Starbucks and feeling guilty that you spent $7 on a second beverage on a Tuesday. And so,
Yarrow.
Oh man. I mean, like, listen, this
we're
is
keeping her
when,
famous right now. We're keeping her famous right now simply by talking about her.
I mean, here's the problem with her and people like that, right? One, like, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I tried it, I failed at it, so I wasn't very good at it, I packed up, instead of shitting on the whole industry. But also, when y'all say I'm a bitch for saying that there are women and men, but a lot of women who are like, I have no personality, there's nothing cool about me, and then it's like, oh, legal weed, this is now my personality, I'm now Miss America marijuana.
What are you talking about?
You guys giving way too much credit. You guys are giving way too much credit.
Call him out by name, Jenny Beth.
I agree.
Jenny Beth, Rico, a lot of bitches. There's a lot of bitches in the industry that got in just because of that. This is an opportunity.
That's what I'm referring to.
But this is not anything new. This is an opportunity movement.
For everybody out there just tuning in, we're not talking about women. We're just talking about bitches.
Hey,
right.
It's an opportunist. It's a movement for opportunists. And when there's an opportunity out there, like Cody Sanchez finds every day something to talk about because she's a content creator. This is what our society is turned into. So whatever you guys want to say about her, it's us that perpetuate the standard and the platform for her to have the conversation with all these people.
Thanks, Jason.
You know, and the truth is, it might make her feel that way. It might make her feel lazy and stupid and depressed and all that. Doesn't do that for me.
No, she did that for you. She did that for clickbait, bro. You know that, Todd.
Doesn't do that for me.
Todd is the.
She's not the first person we've seen not do well in cannabis and now be like, oh,
right. She made bad investments in cannabis, so she tears down cannabis. That's typical for anybody that loses in everything. That's a sore loser.
But I agree with Saman 100%. We need to quit propping up these dickheads who don't know what they're talking about and haven't done anything just because for some reason they hit some like magical algorithm and got a bunch of followers. That doesn't mean that they know dick all or the difference between their ass and a hole in the ground, especially in this very nuanced industry. And we have done a terrible job of allowing people to just continue to perpetuate their bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the platforms, it's our time management, how we use our time, because our time is used by viewing these people's stories or these people's like content, and this is just how this thing works. It's a vicious circle, guys, and that's why you know, like, we have to be careful for the future, because ultimately it's all about information, it's all about facts, and if those factoids are incorrect, then we're all following the wrong white rabbit.
Oh man, there's that white
It's
rabbit.
bad practice for anybody to say this doesn't work for me, so it doesn't work for you. Right? I mean,
yes.
But here's the key. Here's the key, right? She is sophisticated enough to know that she could have made an I statement about a chapter in her life and to talk about her own journey and what's working. And by the way, hats off for whiskey. Try pairing it with a blunt. But anyway, the thing is that she knows by taking a shot, she's going to get more response. She's going to get coverage by us. This is very calculated. This isn't like an oopsie. This is, if I universalize this statement and I make it about more than my own journey and experience, can I get a lot of traction and engagement? And so I think, silly opinions or not, she's winning because people are talking about it.
Well, let's stop.
Fair enough.
And
speaking of talking about it, let us know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this story, if you want us to do more stuff like this in the future or whatnot. Just you know what I'm saying. Just let us know. And on that, we're gonna